Welcome to my presentation for Impossible Futures by Autonomi. This is my project, which is called IMIM, which stands for I'm Immutable, and it's a blogging platform. So to start with a brief history of IMIM, I was trying to think of an idea that sort of played into the strengths of the Autonomi Network, which was immutability, censorship, resistance, and blogging seemed like a nice way to do that. To be able to have your voice heard and not censored seemed like a pretty awesome way to start. I was also doing a lot of blogging at the time, so it particularly appealed. I also wanted to be able to visually illustrate the power of autonomy, and I thought being able to run something in a browser with lots of rich media, with text, pictures, images, videos, audio, all those things combined would be pretty awesome to display its capabilities. So I started the project about 4 years ago, and it started as a big blob of things, which was kind of front end and back end all mixed together. And the more I sort of grappled with the technology, the more I realized there was very much a front end and a back end component set. And that gave birth to AntTP, which is another project which provides like a web proxy back end or a web gateway into the Autonomi Network. And then there's like the front end applications that we can build on top of that, which is like IMIM, which is like a JavaScript or TypeScript application. Like a regular web application would be. So what you see here, this is Firefox web browser, and it's just set up to be using the proxy, which is AntTP behind here. So I start this, it should start the proxy, and just means that we're connected to the network. Then I can refresh this, and you can see some action happening in the background. You see it's all very quick because I've been here before and it's cached, so you can see we can click through different pages. But I can also do a refresh just to sort of show you the kind of performance that we're dealing with the advanced prototype. So as you can see, it doesn't take too long. There's some various chunks come flying down, and that's your fonts, your CSS, your JavaScript, and so forth. And then finally, the blog article and various images and so forth related with it. So it takes a few minutes to do that, but then once you've done that, you can very rapidly navigate the other pages. I'll click through those, and it's almost instant, which is pretty nice and kind of perhaps not what people would expect from a distributed data network, at least a brand new one. So yes, you can read that at your leisure at another time. So how does it work? Well, it's essentially say a JavaScript application that's been uploaded. It actually exists at this address here, and we point data at it, which is actually this address here. The data we point at it looks like this. This is a directory full of files that we actually upload as a public archive, and then IMIM basically parses all these files and decides how to render them. So if you have a look at this file up here, this is one of the MD files from in here, which stands for markdown, and it's as the name suggests, it's a sort of markup. But kind of easier to do. So you can have text, and then you can have various like image links, you can have titles and so forth at different sizes. You can embed links in it, you can embed videos in it. It's a pretty cool format. And you can end up with this, which looks much better than the original text file, I think you'll agree. So right now, when you want to upload a new blog, you essentially take this and use ant file upload and make sure it's a public-p. And the name of the folder. Then as the folder goes up, you can then use that ID that's given back from ant file upload, and you put it in here, and then you can see your blog. And it's as simple as that, really. Now I know some people don't like command line interfaces, and that's perfectly fair, and it's one of the things that we would love to be able to improve going forward. So I suppose that's kind of a good place to sort of jump off. We do actually have maybe a couple of things we could show quickly. I'll just try and show something that might be of interest to some people. And that's like we've not only got images, we can also do the videos. You see it pulls up a brief, I guess the first frames or whatever it is as a preview. You can click into it, and then it will start buffering. Or start buffering properly anyway. As you see, the wee lines sort of having a bit of a race. Sometimes it takes a wee while just to sort of get the first few megabytes and whatnot to buffer before it starts going really smooth. But this is like 100 megabyte video, and usually find that you've got a few stray chunks that just don't want to arrive at the same speed as the others, and it takes it a little while to catch up. I think my connection actually played up a little there. It's actually dropped and restarted, but that's okay. This is a live network, a live demo of a live network. Well, it recovered and it carried on. Well, that's good. Proves that it works. So, like I say, this is 100 megabytes, but you can have things at gigabytes. It's already got the full buffer here. Now you won't get any glitches or stops or stutters. And I'm sure we could get a better player that kind of gives it a bit more time to buffer before it starts playing. So I'll just pause that. You can see there's another blog here. This is the MadeSafe blog. I put together a few articles just as a kind of demo of what we can do. There's a couple of handsome people on here that I'm sure you all know. So, so what would we do if we had more time and more budget? Well, I think first thing, as I touched on earlier, the CLI isn't for everyone. It'd be great to be able to have a simple way to kind of upload your text. It'd be like a WYSIWYG editor or something like that. Drop some images into it, and then press go, and your blog just appears, and not have to worry about CLIs and so forth, because, well, they are tiresome at times. So that would be a great movement to kind of make it more accessible to more people. Also, when you upload a new blog, the blog address actually changes, this one over here, which isn't very good because we want to be able to have more articles to the same blog. And we have the power to do that now. We have pointers within the Autonomi API, but they just haven't been implemented in this yet. So, it'd be great to be able to implement that and then make the blogs much more functional. We have more and more articles over the time, and we don't have to keep messing around with changing URLs or anything along those lines, and people can revisit and bookmark and all that good stuff. Speaking of bookmarks, you can bookmark these like as normal, so you don't have to remember these crazy long numbers. There's a bunch of things that I've got in here that I've been testing with, and also add this little mod or plugin or whatever for the browser, which gives you one of these nice QR codes to be able to give you a much simpler way of sharing these things if you want to with your friends or whatnot, which is pretty handy as well, especially because we don't have like a standard DNS as such yet, and maybe we never will. Maybe we'll always do it in a nice distributed way. That's TBC. Other things to do, comments. It'd be great to have a comment section so we can actually comment on people's articles and say what they like, what they dislike, what they agree with, disagree with, and so forth. Having tip jars or star ratings and that sort of thing to show the appreciation of the blogs. And also templates. Every blog looks the same right now. It'd be great to give them their own personality, their own colour, their own look and feel. And also to be able to have things like digital signatures. So you can maintain anonymity, but still say, well, it was me who did it. Or you can have a public persona and still say, well, it was me that did it. To have those possibilities, especially in a sort of censorship-free distributed network of data, those things are very cool and very on song for what you can do with this thing. And also, it's really worth noting that this is a very open format. Although we might want to upload directory sort of files, markdown files, and so forth, any other app can read them. It's not just IMIM that can do this. You point to a different app at a different address here, and they could interpret the data provided here in a completely different way. So we're sort of really trying to build a way where we can share data across multiple different applications, and I think the more the merrier. People have better ideas, great. But back to what we want to try and do with IMIM. I suppose if we have budget, things like searches, highlighting for comments, maybe notifications. There's all sorts of things we could add to make this the best blogging platform in the world. I think it's just if there's budget to do it, it certainly won't go to waste. We'll keep thinking of new things to do, which would be really cool. So why me? Well, I've been in the community about 10 years. I was in the original ICO in terms of someone buying tokens, that is. I also created a Java Fuse wrapper years ago against the old REST API, which was very much prototype stuff. But my interest in the project has kind of really wavered, and like I say, about 4 years ago, started working on AntTP and IMIM, and I continue to sort of play with both of those, regardless of what happens at the end of this Impossible Futures round. Got 25 years sort of industry experience as a software engineer, Java, Go, Kotlin, now Rust, and lots of others, TypeScript, JavaScript, lots of front-end stuff as well. And I've had a history of being a contractor as well as running small businesses as well. So, I like to sort of find my own way and really build things that are interesting and exciting. And talking of which, I started a new company called Antnode, which I'm now dedicating at least 20% of my working week to, and plan to scale that up as and when more work related to autonomy comes my way. And I've got some fairly ambitious ideas of other things to do. So in summary, I'd love to take IMIM to the next level, build on the promise of what AntTB can provide. And if it's not IMIM, well, I'd be happy to work with other people on other projects. I think what's good for autonomy is good for all of us. So I hope IMIM wins, but if not, well, please be in touch and I'll help someone else win with any luck. So I appreciate your time. Please vote for the project. Thank you very much.